rag, I kill yours, and then you faceless mine, you kill mine, and it's just pretty much play for play that just counters itself as a tech. And Kazan Mystic does that on its own.
Yeah, it's just like who has the last Kazan Mystic, who has the
Exactly.
last BGH,
Yep.
who has the last Mind Control. That's another card that is kind of similar.
Yeah, Mind Control is probably the best example of that now that you mention it, because it's usually when they both run two Mind Controls, it's whoever has the second one last gets the last word really.
All right, the game is about to start.
Yep. So it's gonna be Druid against Hunter in this specific game, which I mean, I don't know how I feel about Druid against the Hunter.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I've seen a lot of hyper aggressive Druid lists that might be somewhat interesting, but to say that I'd bring them to a tourney, maybe not. I don't know.
With this particular decision, I'm thinking that his Druid is either a very taunty Druid, so it curves high, or a very fast Druid, so it curves low. I feel like the mid-range kind of Druids aren't that really that good against Hunter. They're not very.
The class. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, they can't really contest the board early as well, and they don't have as much late game presence. So you're really curious to see what kind of Druid this is.
Well, we'll see right now in the starting hand. Maybe to get a hint as to no hint at all.
No hints there.
So we know he's running two Keepers of the Grove, so that's like that's the most standard hand, standard roster of cards. Nothing special there. If we saw Echoing Ooze, that would be a different story. But I think Druid is one of the classes that has the best time teching Kazan Mystics. Oddly enough.
Yeah, Druid is all about pretty good minions, and oh wow, this is terrible hand for Lifecoach right now. He has the Kata.
Yeah, and I mean, he at least doesn't have to deal with Undertaker. So he's got to be somewhat happy about that. Alright, it improved. The hand did improve with the Wrath here. Going to allow him to somewhat deal with... I guess a Huffer would almost be the best here. Oddly enough.
Well, at this point, Lifecoach has come at a crossroads. Do you want a Wrath here, or do you want a Hero Power? Wrath, because you have such a bad hand right now, Wrath...
allows you to maybe improve it slightly, but if you run into Mad Scientist,
exactly.
then how do you feel about it?
If you run to something like Huffer next turn, and you have no response, you're just gonna be hitting yourself.
Yeah, and I think the punishment is much too harsh to cycle Wrath right now. If there were another option immediately that could be used as a response, it would be a bit better. Even just a big aim hunter, to contest the board, there's no such thing.
Yeah, Lifecoach teams to not take the risk, and I think he might be. Oh wow, that's pretty good.
This is an amazing
He might be rewarded. Savannah Highmane already drawn for the turn 6 play.
And Misha gets drawn. It doesn't get better than that for the hunter.
Ancient of War, not good.
What a dry draw. So do you Wrath and swipe the second minion that gets played on the following turn? Like set up a swipe? Or do you just telegraph it too much?
Even if you telegraph it, I'm not sure if there's any way for Hosty to play around it.
And he just hero powers and attacks for 6, and then Lifecoach has to attack into Misha, and then he starts playing Animal Companion and or Freezing Trap. I mean, telegraphing it can be a really big deal because you're going to take an extra 12 damage.
This is a much more safer play. Okay, we see one tracking from Hosty.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god, double Mishas.
Innervate would actually help a little bit here.
Yeah,
Nax.
What the double swipe tells me, or rather the tracking tells me, is that this might be, again, the Broodstar variation of Hunter that's really popular on North America server right now.
With the one, well, you saw the Houndmaster right here. I think this indicates exactly what you said.
One tracking, one Houndmaster. It includes one Knife Juggler, one Unleash the Hound. Just basically like a toolbox hunter.
Yeah, it's kind of back to the Sunshine roots in a way. And right now, so he did have Wild Growth in his deck. Could not find it early on. No Shade of Nax early. He had the worst possible start. So I think you're forced into Shade of Nax, Rama's Wrath to trade the Shade into the Misha with Savage Horror on the following turn. This is such a horrendous situation to be in.
Yeah,
or
turn
you try
5,
to Wild Growth for curves.
Turn 5 Wild Growth, not the best.
Yeah, it's arguably the worst. You have to keep this for card draw at this point. Oh goodness, the curving of Hosty here.
I mean, this deck is almost playing itself out, but
Yeah.
I guess he had a decision there to play the freezing trap instead of mad scientist. It just locks the druid out even more. Nourish
Yeah.
for life coach.
And with kill command, that might just be a lethal in the next, next turn or next 2 turns. At least, Force of Nature will force. Well, I mean, it'll be able to kill Misha in a way. That's like the one upside to it. And then you can heal yourself up with Ancient of Lore for all that's worth, or taunt up with Judah the Claw.
I mean,
none of those plays are good.
Will Force of Nature be able to kill Misha? Remember, there's a freezing trap on the board, right?
Yeah, you'll have to use your Shade, but at least you won't be getting the Shade back in your hand through Freezing Trap and then die guaranteed. Or you could attack with Shade, get it back to your hand, put it Judah the Claw, it dies to Misha, you take 4 damage, Savannah High-Maintenance Blade, and then you die.
If you play Druid the Claw, I don't feel like you attack right now because you can always trigger the freezing trap with a Force of Nature later on. Okay, turn 6 high main. Sounds good to me.
This is... I mean, Innervate would be almost good, but... And Lifecoach is just disbelieving what he's looking at. He can't believe what's happening right now. Is there a Wrath card, a top deck that could save him? If only for a little bit. Deathwing. Okay.
Deathwing. Turn 7 Deathwing.
Okay, I see how it is. So what you mean is no. Okay, that's fine. So Force of Nature would actually not be half bad, but you die on the following turn with Kill Command. Not that you can afford playing around it anyway.
I guess he's digging. I guess
He wants to Slash Belcher? Does he even have those?
Keeper of the Grove into Keeper of the Grove. Maybe that's okay.
No, he still dies. There's still a freezing trap over there. I mean, he's dead to Kill Command, but I mean, in his mind, he's got to be trying to play around.
Mm-hmm.
He has to hope that this is
not a card that he wants. Nourish.
Yeah, Nourish because he can, but he had to hope it was Explosive Trap, and
yeah, unfortunately it's freezing, and Lifecoach didn't even get to play. Oh, he did play something, I guess. Spectator mode is a bit delayed.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lifecoach had no chance there. And again, the Hunter just not getting banned and taking games away from everybody, and it seems like the lists are very similar to one another. As you said, Brutestar,
well, Hunter is another one of those classes where about 25 of the 30 cards are pretty much self-determined, and then you have the last 5. You get to pick and choose your 5 cards, and you call it a Hunter deck.
Yeah, and you say, oh, this is X or Y's Hunter deck.
Yeah, this is my own Hunter deck. No one else better copy it.
It's unique, but I mean, with a game, with a deck, I mean, a roster of cards is pretty small. Even though we did get GVG, the roster of viable cards is still kind of limited, and you have to expect that a lot of the best decks will contain a very similar array of cards. There's been a little bit of a change with GVG in some slots, but the old archetypes got new tools, and outside of Mech Mage, I think very few archetypes did crop up. Paladin just came in strength, though, so that's really positive.
So let's recap this. How many games has Hunter won so far?
7, I believe. 7-0 so far in this tournament.
7-0. All right, we went from